You are tuned to Anubhav 2.0 podcast from senior citizens, catalyzed and supported by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India, through National Institutes for Social Defense and Media for Community Foundation. The project is conceived and designed by Dr. R. Sridhar and supported by Ashish Tiwari, Pooja Murada, Sai Sudha and Kaushalya.
Hello listeners, greetings from Covaivani. We have with us Miss Sakthi Sneha, a very young storyteller who is also a dancer, voiceover artist, art director, screenwriter, storyboard artist, assistant director, and also an actress. She has had quite a few moments in her life which have taken her breath away. She graduated in visual communications and stood first among 85,000 students from 141 colleges, earning her the University Gold Medal. She was fortunate to work on murals and sculptures at the new terminal at Trichy Airport, which was inaugurated by none other than our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. She has curated and hosted an art exhibition, Yugam, which is the largest cultural festival of South India. When in college, she had portrayed the creative roles in several short films, one of which was honored with national recognition from CAMCA, that is the Commonwealth Educational Media Centre for Asia, and UNESCO, that is the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Sakthi Sneha is also a trained classical dancer and will soon be performing her Arangetram. She believes that dance has given her discipline, grace, as well as a deep connection to storytelling. Her journey is a blend of art, design, and performance, and she puts her heart and soul into all her work. She is currently a design coordinator for a Dubai-based event company and has the opportunity to brainstorm, design, and ideate for large-scale events alongside balancing the thrill of live experiences. Let us now hear her Kutty story.
Sometimes life doesn't go the way we plan it. We think we are walking in one path, but deep down, our heart is dreaming of something completely different. And if we are brave enough to listen, just listen to our heart, something magical will happen. Before I begin today's story, let's set the mood a little bit, shall we? Let me sing a Kutty story, pay attention, listen to me. This is the story of Sneha, a girl who painted dreams in her mind while the world handed her a keyboard. A girl who traded fear for freedom and comfort for courage. Shayna's journey wasn't loud or easy, but it definitely was real and wildly beautiful. Come with me into her world. A world where mountains call your name, rain writes poetry on your skin, and dreams wait just beyond the horizon. Ready? Let's begin. Sneha had always been different. While other kids colored inside the lines, she was busy painting outside the margins. Little forests on the edge of her homework, faces in clouds, stories in the silence of trees. Her notebooks were a mix of graphite smudges, dried flower petals, and dreams written in the margins. She loved the quiet magic of life, the sound of rain as it danced on the tin rooftops, the way wind moved through tall grass, or how sunlight would sneak through her bedroom curtains and rest softly on her sketchbook. Nature was her first ever canvas, her first friend, and her safe place. But time moved on, and the world didn't always value wildflowers and wandering thoughts. By the time she turned 21, Shaina had done what was expected of her. She had graduated with a degree in computer science, landed a stable IT job, and moved to a buzzing city full of people chasing deadlines. Everyone said she was on the right track, so she smiled. She learned to dress the part, talk the part, and live the part, nodding through team meetings, pretending to care about system updates and deployment cycles. On the outside, she looked like every other young professional, earning well and climbing the ladder. But inside, she felt like a ghost. Every day she'd commute past crumbling old buildings that whispered stories to her, but she had no time to stop and listen. Her hands itched to hold a pencil, but her fingers were chained to a keyboard. Her heart longed for skies and solitude, but her eyes only met screens and fluorescent lights. There was one movement that changed everything. One evening, after a 12-hour shift and yet another client escalation, Shanna returned home, drenched in rain. Her bag was soaked and her dinner was cold, and as she stepped into her dimly lit room, she caught sight of something under her bed, an old and forgotten sketchbook. She hesitated and then picked it up. It was like opening a time capsule. There were sketches of mountains she hadn't climbed yet, faces of people she hadn't met yet, forests she still dreamed of walking through. Each page screamed, "Remember who you are! Remember who you are!" And in that quiet, rain speckled movement, she broke down completely. Not the loud, dramatic kind of breakdown, but a soft collapse. A realization that she had become a stranger to herself, living a life built on fear, expectations, and compromise. She stared at her sketchbook and whispered, "I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home." Not to a place, but to herself. That night, she made the hardest decision she'd ever made. She quit. She just quit. No backup plan, no new job lined up, just a restless heart and a fragile spark of courage. The backlash came instantly. Her father was furious. "Do you even realize how lucky you were to get that job?" Her relatives labeled her as spoiled and ungrateful. Her friends were polite but still puzzled. Why throw away something so stable? The truth was, Shaina didn't have all the answers. She didn't know if the path would work out. She just knew she couldn't keep living in pieces. The fear was so real. It followed her everywhere, in the bank statements, in the silence after rejection emails, in awkward family dinners where no one asked what she was doing anymore. But the freedom, that was real too. She began slow, very, very, very slow, volunteering at local art workshops, creating illustrations for travel blogs, collaborating with NGOs that worked with tribal artisans. Every opportunity was a stepping stone, not just professionally, but emotionally as well. She was rebuilding herself one little dream at a time. She called herself as an art and travel curator even before anyone paid her for it. She curated visual stories from her travels, designed experiences for local communities, painted walls with stories, and recorded folklore from village elders to turn them into murals. She spent nights in eco huts, ate with family who didn't speak her language but did speak to her soul, and found joy in the simplest of things possible. Warm bread after a long trek, a sunset over tea fields, or a child holding her hand to show a hidden waterfall. There were struggles, of course, days when she had no projects, moments when her parents' disappointment cut deeper than words, times when self doubt knocked on her door like an old friend. But she faced it all with trembling hands but a steady heart. One winter, she curated her first solo exhibition. The title was given as Where the Sky Begins. It wasn't in a fancy gallery or something, just a community hall in a quiet Himalayan village. But people came travelers, locals, children, and artists. They walked through her paintings, listened to the stories behind them, and shared their own as well. At the end of the evening, a little girl walked up to her and said, I want to be like you when I grow up. Shena smiled. Not the polite smile she once wore in team meetings, but one that came from the deepest corner of her being, because she had become exactly what she once dreamed of being. And here's the truth she now carries like a compass. Following your dream doesn't always feel brave. Most days it feels scary, lonely, and reckless. But fear isn't a stop sign. It's a signal that you're doing something so real. Shena learned that no one will clap for you in the beginning. You will lose people, comfort, and security. But what you gain is you. And in the end, it's better to live a life that feels true in your bones than the one that only looks good from the outside. She now tells her story not because it's perfect, but because it's possible. So, to anyone listening to this podcast, wondering if you should take that leap, wondering if it's too late, too risky, or too uncertain, let Shena's story remind you sometimes the scariest roads lead to the most beautiful places. Remember this, no one else walks your journey but you. And on the other side of the fear, there's a version of you waiting, wild, free, and fully alive. Go find your true self. Thank you.
Well, Shakti, your story somewhat resonates with your own experiences, and you have woven a wonderful fabric which conveys beautiful emotions as well. Thank you for sharing your story with us. On behalf of Covaivani, while signing off, I, Revati Bhaskar, take this opportunity to wish you success in all your endeavors and more accolades. Bye for now.
You were listening to Covaivani podcasts from S3 Kovai Care, Coimbatore. Please contact 14567. I repeat 14567 Elderline Helpline during working hours for any assistance relating to senior citizens. Thank you.